This exercise is geared towards plies, but it works a couple of different fundamentals of contemporary. So just a couple of things to note while you're learning it and doing it. I really focus on expanding and contracting. So just getting as big as I can and as small as I can. And I'm really working on connecting my breath pattern to my movement. So when I get big, I'm inhaling, and when I get small, I'm exhaling. Which helps work quality of movement. And then we really undulate through the spine. So I've had some back issues, so I really like to warm up my back. So targeted at plies, but also working multiple fundamentals of contemporary. Each position that we go through, first, parallel, first, and second, the sequence will consist of a demi-plie, a drop swing, a release through the spine, and a flat back. So just make sure, and you guys already know this, but just make sure that in those plies, especially in parallel, that we're not letting the knees come in. You really want to track hip over knees, knees over ankles, so that you have proper alignment in that parallel position. And then, of course, in first and second, just make sure you're tracking those knees over the toes, so that you're keeping your hips safe. And then on the drop swing, just make sure you're really giving into gravity, letting your head go, using your breath. And then every time you come up from that drop swing, you're finding your alignment by tucking your tailbone and having that rib cage nice and on top of yourself. And then releasing through the spine, make sure you're just really undulating. That's a big one for this guy, just because of my back problems. And then for your flat back, make sure that you're not sitting back on your heels and you're really pushing your weight forward on your toes, and reaching your fingertips towards the front of the room. So those little tips might help as you're executing. Expand, contract, expand, contract, expand, contract, expand, and settle. Demi for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and stretch. 2, 3, 4, drop, release. Demi 1, 2, grand 3, 4, flat back 5, 6, 7, 8, drop. First position. We repeat. Demi for 4. Stretch, drop, and release. Grand, flat back, drop.
After he run back.
First position. This is real life. Tendu second. Grand for 4. Stretch for 4. Drop, and release. Grand, flat back, drop. We undulate through the spine. 2 times. We drop. Lift the heels. And release. And then you would repeat to the left. So just make sure when you're expanding, you're letting yourself go as big and as wide as you can. If you want to high rise, feel free. If you just want to stay in alignment and focus on keeping your alignment while trying to get as big as you can, that's great. Whatever you need to get out of the exercise is what you do there. And then I'm really working on my spinal twist in that plie or that squat position. So I'm not letting my hips go with me. I'm trying to keep my hips where they are and twist my spine. So I'm not letting my hips go and losing my alignment. I'm keeping that parallel position and just twisting at my back. Just to talk about that release for a minute, you really want to think about the head and tail connection. So you're really just trying to connect the head and the tail when you release through, making sure that you're pulling up from your spine and going into alignment. So even when you're in first position and you drop, you undulate through. Also, in the video I did it pretty like straightforward, but I'll add a video of my company doing the exercise, and with them I'm really focusing on quality of movement and not so much about having like pristine technique. So there is a little bit more upper body movement and more breath there, so feel free to add that in as well. It is more of a contemporary ballet exercise. All of my exercises are contemporary, but yeah, so I'll add that in there so you can kind of see with a little more breath and upper body work and not so much focused on just like perfect turnout.